What's up guys, JV2017 here, and today I'm bringing you a completely new type of Fallout 4 video. It's that time in the game's life cycle. Most of us are starving for new content, and while Bethesda has said that details are coming soon, we're not sure how long away the first DLC will be. That's why I decided to do something a little more creative and come up with my own idea for a DLC. So, I present to you Ironsides Last Stand, which is sort of the British are coming like scenario, kind of with Lexington and Concord in the American Revolutionary history, but with robots. Essentially, the idea is that Captain Ironsides, who you help along with his crew during the USS Constitution side quest in the vanilla game, somehow managed to make it out to sea and reconnect with a legion of seafaring robots on ships consisting of Sentry Bots, Mr. Handies, kind of like in that quest and the side quest, Assaultrons and Protectrons. And for whatever reason, these robots are programmed to be like the British, so their objective is to attack and retake the Commonwealth just like the American Revolution. So in this video, I'm going to share some quest scenarios for my DLC, some enemies you'll be fighting, weapons you're going to encounter, armor you're going to find, and a potential companion as well. First, let's talk about the setting, and really the inspiration for this, two things. First, one of my friends mentioned it to me, and then secondly, there's a lot of open space on the eastern side of the map, a ton of water. A lot of people have been complaining about that wasted space. So my idea is to utilize that kind of space. So the setting for this would be along the eastern shores of the Commonwealth. So it's going to be centered still in this area. It's not going to be going to a new area. That would be kind of hard to describe in my opinion, making a video here right now. But it's going to be in the Commonwealth still, but utilizing that area and on some ships at sea. So the idea is to put something like the USS Constitution out in the sea, but have like 10 of those ships and have some way to travel between all of those ships. I also thought it'd be cool to incorporate the castle. Since it's right on the coast in the bottom part of the map, it's kind of a defensible place and you can build up on it with a settlement. I thought that would have been cool to use that as well in this DLC. Additionally, Spectacle Island. It's that giant island in the middle of, the ocean over there, and you're just kind of like, what is that used for? There's nothing really there. I think that's a cool location to kind of expand upon as well, in addition to all of the ships that are going to be in the area. So I spent a little time and came up with this scenario, just kind of this chain of quests, which you could call, I guess, the main quest line for this DLC, of what you're actually going to be doing, and what's the story of this invasion. So the idea is, of course, we're assuming that Ironsides got back out to the sea, and then he's coming back to attack with his legion of robots on boats, which is just a really cool idea, something cool to think about. So the first quest would be, and I believe I'm going to talk about the companion later, but I think it's a cool idea to have the companion just run up and find the player. Once you install the DLC and you get into the world, within 5 minutes this robot's going to come up. It's the new companion I'll talk about towards the end of the video, and he's going to say, hey, you know what, there's something going on, there's something going down, robots are attacking, you really need to handle this. And so after that happens, basically you're going to be sent to the castle. And so your first quest is to repel the robotic invaders at the castle. And I like the castle, again, as a defensible position. You can already put artillery cannons, so it's perfect for repelling kind of a naval invasion of these robotic forces, which just sounds really cool to play out. And once you've defended the castle, I think it's a cool idea for this robotic companion to tell you all about what this assault is and how you can defend it. And I was going to wait until the end of the video to introduce this companion, but it makes more sense right now because he's kind of the main driver for the story, or she, I suppose. So this potential companion is what I'm going to call First Mate Reeves. And the cool thing about First Mate Reeves is it's an Assaultron. So it's an Assaultron that decided to defect from Ironsides and then come and warn the people of the Commonwealth, the most important person in the Commonwealth, which happens to be the sole survivor, the player, because you influence everything in the Commonwealth. And, decides to come and warn him and fight for the people, defending the Commonwealth. So that would be the sole survivor, and potentially the Minutemen. I was thinking, yeah, this should be kind of Minutemen related, but it's kind of hard, depending on which way you decided to go with the story. You can't just shoehorn the story in one direction because, for some players that's not going to work. And so I thought about it. Maybe you could incorporate it, maybe have Sturges and the crew come to the castle and help you defend, but I'm kind of iffy on that. I'm not sure I want to go in that direction with this DLC. But First Mate Reeves is kind of the main driver operator of moving this story forward. So you're introduced to First Mate Reeves, and I think it's a cool kind of idea choice at the beginning right here. Either you can trust this Assaultron, which is hard to trust, or you could just kill it. And if you kill it, you obviously can't have First Mate Reeves as a companion, or you can decide to trust it and have it as your companion when you're fighting off the robots. I think that's a cool idea early on in the DLC. So once you've done that, you need to make a boat. And the problem is there's a bunch of robots on ships just littered out in the eastern, seas area of the map. And so you have to have a way of, mode of transportation to getting to those things. So you need a boat. And so this is where I was thinking, hey, maybe it'd be cool to have Sturges come to the castle and help you make a boat. But again, it's iffy with how you played the game before. And so maybe, just First Mate Reeves can help you make a boat. So you'd have to gather the materials to construct a boat. I think that's a really cool idea, and actually have a fully functioning boat that you can, maybe like a dinghy that you can just, steer around in the open seas towards these, ships and board them and be able to get off and board another one, and so on and so forth. And once you've made your boat, I think it'd be a cool idea to kind of recon the robotic presence, in the water in the Commonwealth. So just kind of steer the boat around, kind of identify the locations, kind of, see what you're going after, what you have to tackle throughout the rest of the DLC. So some kind of recon mission in that sense. Then there would be this first mission to take down an Assaultron commander. I like the Assaultrons because they're very, very powerful and they're formidable enemies. And so having a commander of, a specific ship, for example, maybe Reeves could tell you, hey, there's this commander here, or, you just recon that commander and you want to board that ship, take down all of the robots, and then kill that Assaultron commander for whatever reason. I think it'd be cool to have kind of an initial mission like that. And then from that mission, I think it'd be cool to, loot a chest inside of the ship, kind of an old-timey American Revolution style chest. And then you could find a harpoon gun in it. So if you guys didn't know already, there's an asset in the game that, PC players were able to dig up and find. It's the Harpoon Gun, which is something that they probably just left because they scrapped out a mission. Other people think it's part of a larger underwater DLC that's coming up. I'm not sure I believe that. That might be the case, but I think it'd be cool to incorporate that in this DLC since it is kind of water-based. However, it's not really underwater-based. Still, the Harpoon Gun is a cool gun to have. Additionally, on this mission, you could find some other weapons that you could use throughout the rest of the DLC. Some of my ideas for weapons with this DLC, in addition to the Harpoon Gun, are the musket. Obviously, you want to have a musket, some really cool kind of appropriate era musket that you could use, and it could use some kind of, I hope, like 38 ammo, but that doesn't make sense for a musket, maybe like 45, kind of like the typical combat rifle that you'll find out in the Commonwealth, and also a flintlock pistol, so a really powerful pistol that kind of replaces a Magnum, but actually has accessible ammo without scroungers, so you don't have to go out and take Scrounger in order to make, a 44 Magnum viable in the game. You actually have a flintlock pistol, which is really cool to use, very powerful, and uses, reasonably, scattered ammo throughout the Commonwealth, like a 38 round or something like that, maybe a 45 as well. Moving on, I think also something you could find on that first kind of assassination commander Assaultron mission, you could find some kind of location map or something of all the rest of the commanders, or maybe 4 or 3 more commanders you could find on their ships. So obviously the next step would be to go and kill all of those commanders, and that would be quite a long process. But once you're done with that, the next logical step would be to kill Captain Ironsides. And so I'm kind of mixed on how I would want this to be done. I think it'd be cool to have some kind of nighttime covert, underwater thing where you could go underneath the ship and kind of just like weaken the defenses with the harpoon gun of the ship, so you could actually access it and make a full frontal assault on Ironsides' ship, because he is the general. Or Ironsides decided to land on Spectacle Island and make an entire fortress, because obviously you can build on Spectacle Island. Bethesda could very easily make a giant fortress that somehow these robots erected on Spectacle Island, and you could have some kind of, water to land amphibious assault where you just like come up, in your scuba suit with your harpoon gun, some stealthy kind of action, and then you somehow, assassinate Captain Ironsides. I think that'd be a cool idea as well. Something I neglected to talk about is the armor that you would find, and I don't think there's any sort of specific armor that makes a ton of sense for this DLC idea. I would say the red coat armor would be kind of cool, kind of a red version of the Minutemen general outfit that you find while you play through the Minutemen missions. I think it'd be cool to have that, and of course it would specialize in energy resistance, so Obviously, you would need that when you're fighting robots. It would make sense for the DLC. Additionally, there could be a Scuba Suit. I didn't really plan for a lot of underwater activity, like I said, with this DLC. It's more of, kind of on ships and on Spectacle Island, for example. But there could be a Scuba Suit for some kind of, nighttime covert ops mission with the Harpoon Gun. That would be very cool. And also some kind of shielding armor mod, maybe based on the Assaultrons. So maybe, from Reeves, you have to do some kind of loyalty mission for Reeves, kind of like Kate has one among all of the other companions that have a special mission, like Nick, for example. Once you do that, you actually gain access to Assaultron shielding armor mod. So this is kind of like a substitute for the ballistic armor, and maybe even more powerful or has more energy resistance, and you could actually incorporate this on like combat armor, for example, instead of just like, the certain select few things that you can put ballistic weave armor on. I think it'd be cool to have an additional armor mod for additional energy resistance protection. I almost forgot to add a perk. I think it'd be a cool idea to have some kind of robot companion based perk called like First Mate or something. Gives you 10% more damage when you're rolling with a robotic companion. So that would be something like Codsworth, Curie, the new Assaultron Reeves, of course, First Mate named after Reeves. I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe that could be Reeves's, companion perk, something like that. There could also, I was thinking about something called Sea Legs, where you would be able to swim faster in water. I mean, I guess that could be useful, especially for this DLC, but, I talked about making the boat. So if you were to make a boat, why would you want to swim faster? Maybe there is some swimming required before you can get the boat. Maybe that's a good idea, I'm not sure. But anyways, share your ideas for a potential perk in this DLC in the comments below. So that's really my idea for a DLC, a potential DLC for Fallout. It doesn't have to be the first one, but eventually it'd be cool to see something where some ships come in, some robots attack, and you have to, deal with that situation. And that was kind of the idea. Kind of like Libertalia is a very cool location in Fallout 4. And I really like that it's kind of set up along this junk and it's on the water. And I really liked that area, and that was kind of an inspiration as well for this. But instead, replace that with ships. And, you're going between ships with a boat, you're assaulting the ships, killing the robots, kind of taking charge. Also, this reminded me of Black Flag, of course, the Assassin's Creed game where you play a pirate, you actually drive your ship around, and then you could board other ships, kill them, and then return to your ship and go on your merry way. That was kind of something I thought about as well. And I think it'd be a cool kind of experience for Fallout. Maybe not exactly like commanding your own ship. That could be something that's going on, but I think that would require a lot more work and, kind of changes the experience as well. So I'd like to know, what are your thoughts on this DLC? Is this something you would actually play, or would you like it to go in a different direction? Also, share your ideas for DLC. I'm expecting to see some really awesome comments from you guys. I know some of you really take your time to write comments on my videos. I really appreciate that, and I do read them. And so I'm sure a lot of you are going to come up with awesome DLC ideas that you would like to see over the life cycle of Fallout 4 after watching this video. Share all of that in the comments section below. Alright guys, today I shared my Ironsides Last Stand DLC idea in Fallout 4. The next time we will cover more Fallout on my channel, so stay tuned for Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit that like button, I would really appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe for more unique weapon guides, build guides, and general tips and tricks videos. Talk to you guys next time, peace!